Hey, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Salisbury 500. That's right, Salisbury 500. And we're talking with my friends from Assumption College over the years, and I just graduated a couple years, well, maybe a couple decades ago, last century. But anyway, my name is John DiPietro, and I will tell you this, Assumption College does not sanction this video. They don't sponsor it. In fact, they probably don't even know about it. But let's help other people find out, because down in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, you'll see a little red button that says subscribe. So do me a favor, hit that red button, and then right after that, a little bell will pop up. Hit the bell too. And that means that every time we have a new edition of this show called Salisbury 500, you'll be one of the first to be notified. And with that being said, we want to welcome our special guest from the class of 1970.
John. Five.
I was pretty sure I didn't want to, his name is Paul Lynskey, and Paul's going to talk all about the world of college admissions. But first of all, Paul, welcome to Salisbury 500.
Thanks, John. Thanks very much. Looking forward to this. A great idea on your part.
Well, thanks so much. You know what? I have the feeling that during this period of confinement, there's going to be a lot of new things that happen good for people. And you know what? I posted it on Facebook before. In every adversity, there is a seed of equal or greater benefit. And this may be one of those things. But Paul, let me tell our audience that the reason I know you so well and know about your background in college admissions is that when I was a high school junior or senior, I forget which year it was, I took a tour of Assumption, and you were already on the admissions staff. I think you were a junior or senior as well, and you took me around campus, and I was so impressed with your tour that I decided to enroll there. And you know what? For that, I've been grateful, and we've been friends ever since.
Long time, John.
Long time. So, Paul, every time you turn on the TV today, every time you turn on a radio or you look on social media or pick up a newspaper, there's these lingering stories of the admissions scandal that broke a year or so ago. Number one, how did it happen? Why did it happen? And how could it happen?
Well, the first thing, I know we're in a short time period here. The first thing I want to reassure the viewers is that it is extraordinarily unlikely that this whole scandal, which was a disaster, is going to impact any of them. And for students who are in the process now, or parents of students who will be in the process shortly, I want to use our few minutes to reassure them about how to navigate the process and the fact that this will have a minimal, if any, impact on them at all.
Right. And you would admit, Paul, that this whole thing of, especially if you're a parent of a first-time college student, this is a scary thing to navigate, a scary path to go down for the first time, is it not?
Absolutely, and that's why it's been blown out of proportion. Students like you're talking about, especially low-income, maybe first-generation students who'll be the first in their family attending college, they're going to think, oh my God, I don't have a lot of money like these people. Will I not be able to get in? And that's absolutely false. I mean, I've worked with most of the colleges in Massachusetts and multiple colleges throughout New England and elsewhere. And I can reassure them that this is not something they need to put on the front burner as a worry. There are many other things to focus on during this process.
Do you think there are any admissions implications to the schools involved that impacted them negatively after this?
I think it tarnished their image significantly, and it should have. It was very good that this came out and they got caught. I think it will cause a lot of schools to introspectively examine things much closer, and they did get out of hand, as we saw, either from a sports standpoint or from money, or usually a combination of the two.
Mm-hmm. So, Paul, let's fast forward a little bit to the situation that we're dealing with right now, this COVID-19 thing, where the second half of the second semester has been wiped out. March, April, May, and if it's in a high school, June as well. Is the fact that the high school seniors, forget the fact that they're losing their prom, forget the fact that they're not going to have a graduation ceremony the way everybody before them have, is that going to show up in the classroom in September, regardless of where these students attend school?
You mean, will it show up in the college classroom?
Yeah, because that they missed a whole half a semester. Or
Well,
is that,
I think, frankly, I think that will be more of an issue within the school district than it will be for transitioning from the school district to college.
Mhm.
Because when you're transitioning from the school district to college, you've got a tremendously different background than almost everybody else in your entering freshman class. So the schools aren't necessarily assuming a common base of knowledge. When you're transferring from junior year to senior year within your same high school, that's where the problem is, because they've already built a curriculum in that will assume exactly what you took junior year, and that's no longer the case.
yeah. So if you're halfway through algebra, then you're not going to go right into trigonometry without the full year of algebra or the full semester, right?
That's correct. There'll have to be modifications made during the fall within the school.
Okay, and modifications as far as the college admissions situation is concerned, there might be students that, because parents have lost income, are not able to continue to matriculate. How's that? Is that a pretty good word?
Big word for you.
Right, it's a big word for me. They're not able to go to the school that they had originally planned, or they think they aren't. Will the colleges be making concessions in their financial aid packages in order to, quote unquote, get their class for the fall?
It's impossible for me or for you to speak for all of the colleges, obviously, but I think your assumption in the nature of how you asked the question, the answer is yes. We both know that Assumption has done that just within the past week to 10 days by making an additional $3 million available to their students, both incoming and returning. Schools are very worried. I mean, very, very worried. I think that they are very likely to do something similar, factoring in the family situation. I mean, normally through a financial aid process, abrupt changes in the family's income will impact financial aid anyhow, even retroactively after they started first semester.
But not when it's a whole class.
Oh, yeah, in this case, I think the colleges will be very proactive.
Right, because if they miss this class, that loss of income stays with them for 4 years,
That's correct.
unless they get their bigger class the following year.
No, that's correct. The loss first year is worth it if they can recoup it over 3.
So, and some schools have trouble. I would say the state schools probably have more transfers in and out than the private schools, but that's just a guess on my part. Is there any kind of statistics about transferring? Going the junior college route for 2 years and then going to the quote unquote 4-year school? Is that a plan for many people?
Well, not necessarily what you phrase as junior colleges, but with a lot of the states, Massachusetts being one, New York being one, Pennsylvania being one, California being one, they have articulation agreements well structured between the 2-year community colleges and the 4-year state universities.
Well, that is an academic word, Paul. Articulation agreement. Now, basically that says what? Tell us what that means.
It varies from state to state, but it generally says, John DiPietro, if after 2 years at X community college, you've achieved this grade level and taken these number of credits, we, 1, automatically guarantee you acceptance into the class junior year, and 2, transfer all of your credits. It'll be something like that.
Now, that's very interesting because I offered that to my daughter, who's been out of college for 10 years now, but that I offered that to her, that if she went to a private, a community college for 2 years, I would pay her $25,000 at the completion of that and then move on to whatever school she wanted to go to. And she turned it down. And I'll bet you she's regretting that decision right now.
It's an individual family decision, but
Right.
She probably just, was concerned about leaving you at home alone, maybe.
I'm sure that's the case. Now, speaking about disappointment and quiet issues and stuff like that, I know that you're a devout Yankee fan, and you must really be hurting inside that the Red Sox aren't able to whoop the Yankees this coming season.
Well, actually, John, this is very much still baseball season. And my assumption prior to the season was that the Yankees
we're using the word assumption way too much.
Okay. My supposition prior to the beginning of the season was that the Yankees were so stacked this year with talent that they were likely to go 150-12. I've got to adjust that now because we're probably going to see a reduced number of games.
But they still won't lose more than 12.
Oh, I don't think so.
Yeah, exactly. So our guest, because we're out of time, we want to say special thanks to our friend Paul Lynskey. And Paul, we have just such a short period of time to do these segments. Will you come back with us at another time and talk about another topic that you're eminently qualified to do so on?
Absolutely, John, anytime. And thanks very much for doing the service for the viewers.
Great. So everybody, my name is John DiPietro. That's Paul Lynskey. This is Salisbury 500. Stay tuned to this YouTube channel for more installments real soon. Have a great day, everybody.